would be Kiss Alive, right? Like that's my desert album. That was one of the first albums I ever got. It's, I like the double album. You get, if I can only pick six, I get two
Yeah.
records for one choice, which is cool. But I think it's just like for me, just a great document of like what a live show should be, the energy. Um, it's still exciting, so that's a really special album to me. The Pistols record, never mind the Bullocks. I mean, that's, for a band that only made one record and
Hmm.
to have the impact that they had, I mean, it's pretty profound. And all of those songs are great. All of them, every single one. The lyrics are unbelievable. You know, um, I love Paul Cook's drumming and Steve's guitar playing, and it's just an incredible, powerful record. It's so good.
You stop you there. Through your travels then as a musician, have you ever met John Lydon?
I haven't.
Oh, what a shame. Maybe
No,
one day.
no. I've met Glenn, Buddy Gilby plays with Glenn.
Right.
Um, met Steve once, wouldn't really hang out, per se. And haven't met Cook, which I'd love to.
Right, okay. Carry on.
Yeah,
Sorry.
great drummer, working class drummer. I love that style. So another one, White Album again, two records for the price of one. Any Beatles record's great, but like when you get into like after Rubber Soul and they really start getting into the concept of an album,
Hmm.
um, the White Album's got so much, beautiful stuff like Dear Prudence and then or Julia and then Helter Skelter. It's got the whole thing, like the whole range of all the things that they do, and you can hear the tension within the band too. I could do without Revolution number nine, or maybe just make it like 30 seconds and be like, okay, we got it. But even that, is a sign of where they were at and, Yoko's influence on John and that's coming
Yeah,
there's so it's like a really wide range of stuff. So that's a great record. And it's kind of just a mystery, in a
it
cool way.
is.
Um I would say Magic no, Shot at the Devil,
Hmm.
Motley Crue. So that
That's
for
it.
me was the drums, the sound of the drums, and it was mixed by Jeff Workman, who had worked with Roy Thomas Baker and the Queen, the Cars stuff, and those really big drum sounds, which obviously were influenced by Roy, who was producing those records, but that's Jeff. So you listen to that record and those drum sounds, it's like, yeah, that's Jeff on the mixing and
Lovely.
the engineering side. And it just blew my mind. And the I think just the clarity of the purpose of the title of the artwork, the photos inside
Everything.
those Barry Levine photos are gorgeous. They look like
Yeah,
the colors look like candy, and they're like those guys are like they're beautiful and a little scary and kind of weird and kind of glam and it's like it's everything and they just nailed it. They totally nailed it and the songs are great. So I love that record and I love Tommy Lee's drumming and I played that album so many times. There's a
same.
lot of stuff I took from the drumming on that record.
That's it,
So
mate.
Aerosmith live bootleg,
Mm.
which is again 77, I think, 77, 78. That record, there's screeching guitars and there's firecrackers going off like all throughout the album. I can't believe the label let them put it out. It's so out of control, and it's like the greatness of Aerosmith. It's just like on the edge of just exploding. And it's so good. And then those pictures, Ron Powell, photographer, like all those great shots inside. Joe Perry, these pictures, Joe with like a flannel shirt and then leather pants and cowboy boots. Like fashion wise, as a kid, I'm like, where is this guy coming from? And his hair's in his face and he's got a guitar on his back and then another one in front that he's playing. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like I would just stare at those photos for so long and clearly the inside of Appetite for Destruction, that inner sleeve with that photo collage, I know that they they took it from the inside of Live Bootleg because it's the same exact thing. So anyway, yeah, that's a great record. And then Cheap Trick Live at Budokan, which is another one, like 79,
Mhm.
single album, great songs, great band, just unsurpassed, you know, so good. And I think Jack Douglas probably produced what, like three of the six albums I mentioned, which I don't know what that means, but you know.
Absolutely. Well, you could take those albums and be in a locked room for a month and be happy, can you? Yeah, I like
Yeah,
that
oh yeah, yeah. For a lifetime.
for a lifetime, totally. All right, then. So I'm going to ask you now, who are your six favorite musicians, dead or alive? And if you want, just the drummers.
Mick Tucker, I would say, from the Sweet, incredible drummer. Uh, kind of had an Ian Pace influence, but had his own thing. Really very English in his playing. Love his drumming. Cozy Powell, another one. You know, Rainbow. Played with Sabbath for a minute.
Yeah,
Whitesnake. Just beautiful, beautiful drummer. Great feel. Super musical. Just sounded great and looked amazing. I mean, I don't think anyone looked better on the drums than Cozy. Um, Keith Moon, who I was just listening to an extended live at Leeds this morning. Um, Beautiful drumming. So again, musical. As a kid, I thought he was just going crazy, and then I actually tried to play some of the songs and realized no, it's like very again, whether or not he's aware of what he's doing, it's so musical, it's so beautiful. So yeah, amazing drummer. Bonham, of course,
yeah,
Led Zeppelin. I
absolutely.
mean, that's kind of the template. It's like that, and that's the reference I hear, you know, from Ace when we do records. Yeah. I go, what do you think on this one? He goes, I just do Bonham. And I go, all right, cool. So yeah, just greatest rock drummer ever. Tommy Lee was another one, again, kind of the 80s Bonham, where it, you know, just you could hear other drummers playing differently after he showed up. Like you could hear drummers doing what he was doing, you know. And then for that reason, I would say Dave Grohl is the next one, like 90s version, and the flams and the single stroke rolls and really like super worked out parts, but really straight ahead and powerful. And then you just started hearing guys play like that, you know, because there's a lot of drummers that are great, but then they don't influence, you know, like Neil Peart's an incredible drummer, but you can't really play like that unless you're in Rush, you
Absolutely.
know. But with Bonham, Tommy Lee, and Dave Grohl, that's all stuff that you can do in songs, you know, and people started doing that. So again, I love all their drumming, and again, the influence is profound.
That's amazing. Okay, so do you prefer then vinyl or digital?
Vinyl.
Okay.
I mean, if I got to learn a set of music, digital, please. I don't want to be sitting there in front of a turntable. I'd rather just put it in my phone and listen to it. But yeah, vinyl all day.
Brilliant. If you were in a coma, what song would wake you up?
Probably some Motorhead, and any Motorhead would be good.
Okay. If there was a written song, like a made up song about yourself, your personality, what would it be called?
Got beats me. Well, I
That's a
guess
good one.
that's the title. There you go.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, that's cool.
Perfect.
Yeah, cool. Do you prefer beer or wine?
Depends where I am.
Okay. I guess
Yeah, if
like that.
if I'm in Italy, I'll take wine. If I'm in England, I think it's a law you have to drink beer. So
Absolutely. What about you prefer festivals or small intimate gigs?
hmm. I'll play. I'll take anything that's packed, right? So if you play a big venue, that's awesome. But if it's not packed, it doesn't feel good. So
Yeah.
I would take a small, sweaty gig. Played with Michael DeBars for a couple years, and we would do these dive bars, and they would just be packed, and it would just be like he'd be like out in the crowd and have his shirt off. It was just like so sweaty and intense. So I'll take the biggest venue I can take as long as it's packed.
And what's your favorite food after a gig, actually, after a gig?
Well, it's kind of like I typically don't eat after a gig, but probably pizza, you know. But really what I like if I'm on the road is like just a deli tray with some prosciutto
Yeah.
and you know some provolone. I'll take roast beef and American cheese too. That's good, but just like some meat and some cheese, you know.
Yeah.
Sex, sex, sex.